Today, I'm going to be talking about the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement that was signed on the 21st day of March of 2018 by the African member parties in Kigali. This is going to be the first episode in this series of presentation that I'll be giving on African development. First, I'm going to talk about the objectives of this Continental Free Trade Agreement. And secondly, I'm going to talk about what is lacking in this trade agreement. And lastly, I'm going to point to you the direction of my next episode, what I'll be talking about in my next episode. I'm hoping that this is going to be a useful contribution to the literature or to the discourse regarding African development. And I want to thank the African leaders for those that have come up with this trade agreement. It's a start. It's a start to something that is emerging. I see coming in Africa. I want to quickly, without taking much of the time, to go to the objectives of this article. This article was signed on the 21st of March 2018. It's been 4 years, 2022, April. It's April 21st of April. So having gone through the agreement, I realized that there are 8 objectives, which I want to talk about today. The first objective is to create a single market for goods and services facilitated by movements of persons in order to deepen the economic integration of the African continent and in accordance with the Pan-African vision of an integrated, prosperous, and peaceful Africa enshrined in Agenda 2063. The second is to create a liberalized market for goods and services through successive rounds of negotiations. The third is to contribute to the movement of capital and natural persons and to facilitate investment building on the initiatives and developments in the States Party and RECs. The fourth, to lay the foundation for the establishment of a continental custom union at a later stage. The fifth, to promote and attain sustainable and inclusive socio-economic development, gender equality, and structural transformation of member states. The sixth, to enhance the competitiveness of the economies of the state parties within the continent and the global market. Seventh, promote industrial development through diversification and regional value chain development, agricultural development, and food security. Number 8, to resolve the challenges of multiple and overlapping memberships and expedite the regional and continental integration process. Now, these are the 8 objectives of the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. There are 8 objectives. I want to thank the leaders. This is a long time coming. I really want to thank them for their thoughtfulness at this period, at this season, for coming up with this trade agreement in order to facilitate trade within the continent. And at this moment, we know that trade within the region is intra-regional trade is very, very low. It's between 16% thereabout. And this is in an effort to increase that percentage. I have looked at the that's all right. I have looked at every single objectives of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. And I must tell you, it is a brilliant idea. It is a brilliant idea. However, it is lacking in just one vital part. Just one vital part, which is a single integrated system of payment in all of the African region that is owned by Africans. In order for the African Free Trade Agreement to function properly, it needs a glue. A glue. This is a glue. So in my own point of view, is a glue to hold this agreement together. And this is a single integrated system of payment in all of the African region. We need a single integrated system of payment. We don't have one in the nation, in the continent. And that is African owned. We need a single integrated system of payment in all of the African region that is owned by Africans. We need an African currency. We need an African currency that is generally accepted, through which this single integrated system of payment would function. Without this, I don't see how this trade agreement will function. This is what I want to talk about today in this episode, and to encourage our African leaders to formulate and to come up with an integrated system of payment. An integrated system of payment in all of the African regions that will be facilitated by a single currency that is African owned. In my next episode, I'm going to be talking about the creation of a single central bank of Africa, and how African nations can pool their reserves from all countries, pool their reserves to the Central Bank of Africa, and to possibly the African Development Bank to facilitate loans to African nations, cheap loans to African nations in order to facilitate development financing. And I really want to emphasize the importance of loans. We African nations, we have reserves in billions of dollars, but held in foreign currency and in other nations. And at the same time, we go on to get loans from these nations. We are financing our loans by ourselves, and at the same time, we are paying interest rate on our own money. So if we can pool those reserves, create a single bank, a Central Bank of Africa, and pool those reserves to that bank, all international payment in an African country goes out through the Central Bank of Africa, and all international income comes through the Central Bank of Africa. That will really help in creating a source of cheap loans for African countries that want loan for a transformation of their economy. And I believe that this is a vital part in the trade agreement. It is a vital part. We need Central Bank of Africa. We need a single and integrated system of payment. We need an African currency that is generally accepted as a means of payment. In order for this trade agreement to function properly, we need that. And I'm hoping and I'm believing that the leaders of Africans will understand the importance of this single integrated system of payment. The other day, I wanted to make a payment to a friend of mine. I just wanted to make a payment to him in Ghana, from a Zenith bank in Africa to another Zenith bank in another African country, but I could not. I had to make a payment in dollars. I could not have. I had to go and source the dollars myself to make that payment within an African continent. So I believe that the leaders, we understand the importance of this, and at the moment, we are having African diaspora willing to come back to the continent. Those that are willing, that are able and willing to invest in the continent. We need to create a conducive environment. This is a single integrated system of payment and a currency that facilitate this integration. This single integrated payment system is a vital conducive element for African in diaspora to engage in investment in the continent. And there's been a lot of African diaspora coming back to invest in Africa, but they are coming back, they are investing, but we need to create an enabler environment in order to facilitate more of such investment. So I'm hoping that this will be an opportunity for the leaders. This is the time now for the leaders to wake up to their responsibility. So that is my presentation for today. So in a nutshell, the Continental Free Trade Agreement is a path in the right direction, and it needs to add the vital part that is lacking, which I termed the glue to this agreement, which is a single integrated system of payment in all of the African region. That means wherever you are, you can use your bank account, your local bank account, to make payment for services, for trade and services, without resulting to conversion of such money to a foreign currency before you can make such transactions. So we should be able to make transactions. We should be able to buy goods and services in other regions of the African nation using my local currency, using the currency from my bank account. So it is very vital that African leaders understand this, that this is a glue to the trade agreement, Continental Trade Agreement. I don't see the Continental Free Trade Agreement functioning without an integrated system of payment. So this is going to be the end of my presentation for today. To the next episode, I'm going to be talking about how we can create a single central bank of Africa and how African nations can pool their reserves to this under the Central Bank of Africa, and the needs to do that, and also not just the Central Bank of Africa, also the African Development Bank, in order to facilitate cheap loans to African nations, especially the Congo. The African Union, the African nations, the continent needs to do more for Congo. We need to help Congo to address its internal issues. There are a lot of resources in that nation, and that resources is being ravished by foreigners, by foreign countries. African nations, we need to help Congo. We need to help Congo. We owe it to them. We need to help them to put their system in order. We need to help Congo to deal with their security issues. I don't believe that it is internally generated. Congo is a peaceful country. The people are content, are people that are always content with what they have. So, well, we need to help Congo. I believe that we need to help Congo. So for those of you that have, if you have a comment, please don't fail to leave your comment below, and also subscribe, and so that you get the notification of my next lecture series. Thank you. Thank you. Africa is rising. Africa is rising again. I believe in Africa. This generation, this season is for Africans. It's for Africans. Africans all around the world. The continent is calling you. The continent is calling. And I use this as an opportunity to beckon on all Africans, those that are within and without, far and near, to look upon the continent Africa. For Africa beckons and calls. For we here and we are coming. May God bless Africa and bless all of you.